once again.
This is
Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. life ain't a ding dong. If I could take you up in boom boom boom, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom, and hoping we meet again. Oh, life ain't a ding dong. A-lang, a-lang, a-lang. Boom, ba-do, 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 ba-do. Ain't a ding dong. A-lang, a-lang, a-lang. Boom, ba-do, 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 ba-do. Oh, life ain't a ding dong. If I could take you up in boom, 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 boom. Tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Now every time I look at you, something is on my mind. If you do what I want you to, baby, we'd be so fine. Oh, life ain't a ding dong. If I could take you up in boom boom boom, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Okay. kind I prefer. Okay.
Faithful and brave.
Okay.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Hypertension. I'm joined here by Go Freedom. We are finally into this pro draft between Elements 5 and Dawn Premier. I almost forgot what teams were even in this game because of how long startup took. How are you doing, Go Reno?
Little worn out from the delay, not gonna lie. For those watching, due to the delays, Dawn is gonna lose their first 3 bans of this game. That is why we're seeing blanks. That's not your typical pro draft. By the way, that full-on red box, that's a Rakan. It's not that, so
No, it's not. Remember, they lose it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I was saying it's not your typical, because you know how Pro Draft always messes up and it's like, you
Yeah, no,
press something.
there is no ban there.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why we're seeing a lot of red boxes here. But on the side of Element 5, they've already taken away 2 top laners, 3 if you want to count Rengar, but I'm leaning a little on the side of doubt there.
Yeah, right now it does appear that they are going to be just maining away tops, and then that one jungle pick just to make sure that they are done. So, with this in mind, what do you think will be those first few picks here for Element 5?
It kind of depends really, since they have a world's worth of time to play with. They could lock in their bot lane here. I do assume they're gonna lock in their bot lane sometime within these first 3 picks, since all the bans towards the top lane shows that they kind of want to counter pick at the top, or they're just trying to pinch the pull and instantly pick top. That's another option too, but I'm currently leaning more towards we're probably gonna see. Oh, speaking of bot lane, the Yuumi locked in.
Yeah, absolutely. I say with that, Yumi is one of the more powerful supports. Why don't you talk to me about it?
Yeah, basically Yuumi, she is really strong right now, especially in pro play, and this is pro play. Basically, very easy to coordinate, because one of the reasons why her win rate tends to be lower in solo queue is that your teammates also have to know how to play around her, and that can be hard with communications. You'll see that with the on the prowl, because sometimes your AD carry just moves away and you miss that very crucial poke. Also very strong this patch, because her bop and her passive bop gives her it's pretty decent shield early on, not to mention the mana restore. It lets her just constantly chug out those on the prowls in the laning phase and really wear down your opponents.
Yeah, and Morgana, a solid pick into it. And we do see the Vi coming out into the jungle. Very mobile pick there for the side of Dawn Premier. Now, along with that Morgana for the lockdown. So you have to imagine here that Element 5 is going to pick up a Sivir.
Yeah, a Sivir is always a very good pick into Morgana, because it is very easy to spell shield the binding coming out from Morgana. Not to mention Sivir Yuumi is just such a powerful duo. Granted, Sivir did receive minor nerfs last patch, but it shouldn't really be too much of a deal in this lane. But it's going to be the Irelia instead, which can be flexed top or mid. We'll have to see. But I'm still leaning towards pick a Sivir here, because Sivir Yuumi, great. Sivir into Morgana, great.
Yeah, and right now we are seeing, as you said, the Aurelia lock in the top lane. They're strong there. And then the Ezreal lock in. So this is a never die bottom lane of Ezreal Yuumi.
Yep, never die indeed, because between all the heals, the shields, and the arcane shift, it is near impossible to kill Ezreal. He's so safe. Not to mention, if you get the Iceborne right after tier, it really lowers the enemy ADC's trading power, because having an extra 90 armor over your opponent is quite a huge differential when we're talking about 80 carries here.
Absolutely, and especially when you're going up against someone like a Kled in that top lane, you can't really run away from him. He will chase you down across the map. So with that in mind, that is 2 basically homing lockdown abilities from the side of Dawn Premier, and then you have the Black Cleaver. That is a fair bit of chase down.
Yeah, it is a fair bit of chase down indeed. We will have to see, because all that single target can backfire if Element 5, of course, picks things to counter that, like, say, a Zillion, because if y'all pile drive someone and then Zillion drops a Chrono Shift on them, you're like, you win some, you lose somebody. But I don't think we're going to see the Zillion here. Just a bit of hypothesizing. What if situation.
Yeah, as you said, that Zillion probably not going to come out, but we have seen Karma and Silas banned here. I don't know about you, but I kind of expect Sivir to be banned here by the side of Element 5, just because Sivir is the most powerful AD carry and the new patch has not hit yet, so Sivir is still at full strength.
Yeah, although, oh no, 9.14 does not have the Sivir nerfs. That was 9.13. So the Sivir nerfs are alive right now. But the Talia ban instead going against Dawn, which is very interesting, especially since Vi's already been locked in. So most likely taken away from the mid laner there, unless we're going to see a lane Vi, which, while she was technically originally designed as a top laner, her kit just doesn't really work in top lane.
Yeah, no, it really does. Oh, no, Talia was designed. You're talking about Talia, right?
Oh no, I was talking about Vi. She was originally designed to be
Vi,
top lane.
okay.
Yeah.
I would say there when you said that it was Talia was the most recent ban, and I got really confused there. But yeah, no. Speaking of that, Gragas and Vi both locked in for the side of Dawn, ensuring that that's two powerful junglers taken away from the side of Element 5. So one of them is going to be going into the top lane.
Yeah. The thing is, there's also the Kled there.
Yes, there
So
is. So that means actually it could be Kled mid, Doenby strat.
yeah, or it could be Kled top Morgana mid with Gragas support. That is another potential here. Dawn has a lot of mix-up in potential in their comp. The only thing you know for sure is that Vi is most likely going into the jungle. But speaking of going into the jungle, Element 5 pick up the Zac, who got the mini Reaver a while back. Very interesting, since people do say he's a little bit on the weaker side still.
Yeah, and that's mostly just because of his kit and how it works right now. But we are seeing that the KDA leader for the UML, Trigger, is gonna get his Anivia. Trigger is the highest KDA player in the, is the player with the highest average KDA in the entire UML by by a solid kill, and it is a whopping 14.
14 KDA, that's pretty good. Pretty good. 14 kills for every, well, 14 kills and assists for every death. Unless it's KD. But there's the Yasuo locked in for Dawn in response to this Anivia. Gonna be very nice for blocking out the stuns, but you can't really...
So,
Go ahead.
wait, is that a Yasuo bottom lane?
Wait. Probably, yeah. Yasuo Gragas bot, I want to say.
Yasuo, Gragas, Vi jungle, and Kled top lane? And
Probably.
Morgana mid?
I don't know. There's just like so many audibles you could call here on this draft. We're just gonna have to see when we do get into Champ Select, which, speak of the devil, we are hopping into right now.
That we are, and now as we do hop into draft, we will have to see where these are going. This is like, based on what I've seen in professional play, the Gragas Yasuo bottom lane would make the most sense out of this pairing with Vine the jungle, Kled top, and Morgana mid.
Yeah.
Still, it confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's a composition in League of Legends. I could say that much about the team comp. I don't know much else about it, since we don't know where anybody's really going. I mean, we're pretty sure Vi's going to the jungle, but I don't know.
And right now, SAN, remember guys, this is the #1 seed from their group, Element 5, versus the 3rd seed from their group, Dawn Premier. But on the flip side, these two teams were actually 1 and 3 in KDA as a team, but Dawn was the team with the highest KDA of all teams, and Element 5 was the one in 3rd.
That's pretty interesting, because Element 5, they do have Trigger, who's certainly pulling his weight, but I guess he is pulling a lot of weight with his teammates dragging his team down to 3rd, or maybe it's just due to Dawn having better all-around team synergy.
Maybe that is the case, but then again, it is weird to see a team with the highest KDA not be the #1 team. That could mean a little bit more of players who go over for KDA over team play. We'll have to see. They did finish 3rd in the Infernal group, whereas Element 5, again, was 1st in Mountain, only dropping 3 games, not even 3 series, 3 games over the course of the entire regular season.
Yeah, which is very impressive, as we are now going to see that where all these picks are going, thank God, it's going to make our lives a little bit easier on the caster desk here. It is going to be the Kled top, so no more mix-ups, no Kled mid, Kled jungle, or even Kled bot, who knows.
Yeah, it does appear, though it will be a Kled top lane in terms of if they lock in which position they're in. That would make, again, based on the composition, that would make the most sense.
Yeah. But then again, this draft is certainly out there, so maybe normals need not apply. But hey, the Vi is in the jungle as we predicted, so maybe we'll get to see if the rest of our predictions were correct with the Morgana mid and then the Yasuo Gragas spot. That'd be...
Yes, and here we will see in just a second. Again, I don't see the Yasuo not going bottom lane. And yeah, it looks like I called it right on the nose.
Yeah, okay, it makes sense. Yasuo bot lane, it's pretty decent, you know. It's been good for most of season 9. In recent patches, I think it's fallen off a little.
Does appear as if let's say again the Yasuo does appear to be going to the bottom lane. Morgana mid. You talk about utility. I think she can be classified as budget karma.
Yeah, if you take away the move speed, yeah. Because Karma, she's just kind of a budget sivir late game. Well, budget sivir on a lower cooldown. But, yeah, Morgana's similar to Karma. I can see where you're coming from, what with the binding into the black pool. Yeah, as the last picks here being locked in for Element 5. Yuumi going with the Ignite heal. Okay. Guardian should probably swap up his heal to teleport for this. It could just be the spectator delay bug with the summoner spells. If we take a look at Cindo, Ray, and Griffin.
Sorry about that. It appears my headset unplugged itself. So talk to me about the side of Element 5. Tell me what their composition is looking to do in this game. What is their win condition?
Well, they certainly do want to really kite out team fights because you have the Ezreal, Yuumi, and Anivia. But you can also set up a nasty 1-4 since if Bennett is able to just snowball in the top lane and Shockpool is unable to respond to him, then you can just sit mid with triggers Anivia, constantly clear every wave, and then if really needed, Guardian can of course just use the True Shot Barrage. So can do a nasty 1-4. We will have to see because there, like I said, there's also a lot of potential kiting back on this Element 5's comp. What with the Ezreal Arcane Shift, the Yuumi Ultimate, Anivia, Wall plus Stun, and Zac Let's Bounce can be used kind of as disengage.
Yeah, and on the side of Dom Premier, of course, there is a ton of knockup potential, a ton of lockdown. Basically just trying to set up a Yasuo, but I just feel like if that's what you were going for, I think you could have done it a little bit better.
Potentially, yes, since knockups you have are Shockpool has a very minor one on his ultimate. There's of course the Vi Q and Assault and Battery. Not to mention Gragas Casket. Gragas Casket, pretty good. You could get a multi-man knockup, and Vi Assault and Battery is of course very good if you want to just find that one target and say, die.
Well, what I was thinking, it's like, if you're going to go with the Gragas in the bottom lane, why don't you just go with I'll say with an Alistar, and then put the Gragas in the jungle, throw a mid laner in who actually has a knockup, and then a top laner, you know, who also like actually has a knockup instead of just the knockback.
Yeah, we will have to see because maybe the Yasuo wasn't planned until later in the draft, and that's why we're seeing this kind of composition with not as many knockups as you would prefer for Yasuo, I guess. But I do think that the side of Dawn Premier can make this work, since they do at least have some reliable tools to proc it off. But teamfights are going to ultimately come down to, can Cinderay pop off, and what can Shockpool do to the back line?
Fair enough. And guys, we will head to a short spectator delay. We will be right back with Game 1 between Element 5 and Dawn Premier. We'll see you then. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Upsurge Minor League. It is the quarterfinal matchup between Element 5 and Dawn Premier. Once again, I am Hypertension, joined here by Goferino. On the blue side, we have the #1 seed from Brute Mountain with Boy Bennett in the top lane, Ace Bichon in the jungle, Trigger mid lane, Guardian at 80 carry, and Xylo at support. They are Element 5.
And opposing them is Dawn Premier here, top lane Shockpool, jungle Griffin 350, mid lane will be Babolat, and then bot lane will be Cinderay and Shiftry. We have a very exciting series in store for us right now. So
That we might. And overall, in this early game, is the focus going to be on that Yasuo, Gragas, or what's going on there?
We'll have to see, because I do feel like you have to get this bot lane snowballing, but we talked about it in Champs League that Ezreal Yuumi is kind of known for being ultra safe in lane, and it might be a little hard for Griffin to go in and land those Qs. So I want to say in an ideal world, yes, Cinderay and Shiftry get a lot of attention and snowball like monsters in the bot lane, but in the reality world, it might not be that simple.
Might not be even so, as you say. Right now, it does appear as if both junglers are starting on the bottom side towards their bottom lane, where it will mean that they will be rotating up to the top lane for the to start.
And that will be very interesting, because we did highlight in Champ Select that if Bennett is able to snowball in this Irelia, Element 5 can pull up a nasty 1-4-0. Granted, if Shockpool is able to snowball himself just due to the nature of top lane, then that can really put a hole in Element 5's plans, as the bind does land in the mid lane.
Yeah, it does, but nothing really comes out of it, though. So in this bottom lane, I think, is going to be the more pivotal if those skill shots land, particularly those tornadoes from the Steel Tempest.
Yeah, the good news here, though, for Guardian is that Ezreal Arcane Shift is kind of dumb when it comes to buffering. You can buffer so many things, and I want to say Yasuo Nado is one of them, but we'll have to see. As Ace Bichon going for a very interesting clear here, going red into Golems into Raptors.
Yeah, that is a little bit interesting in terms of the fact that usually don't you want to go Raptors first off, because the fact that it provides, second most XP and it's faster?
I don't know. Maybe Bichon here just wanted to prioritize getting damage from bot lane. I'm not entirely sure. There was technically a ward by the Raptors here that's expired by now. Looks like Babolat has placed a ward on that Wolf camp, spotting out Bichon, really tracking this Zax's early pathing.
And it does appear as if both junglers will be in the vicinity of that top side Rift Scuttler. So it looks like that Element 5 will actually have the first crack at it in terms of the movement, but they miss out on it as Griffin just smites it away.
Smites it away indeed. A nice little advantage for him. And we're going back. Oh, no. As we go to the mid lane, I don't think there's going to be too much here.
Black Shield is pretty strong in that regard. And now look at the bottom side. Look at the Ezreal move up to try and deny that Rift Scuttler from Griffin.
And of course, proc the Scryer's Bloom, get some vision of Griffin's jungle here, and let the side of Element track his pathing. So very good team play by Element 5 there, abusing the fact that they did have Prio in that bot lane.
Yeah, and this is one of the downsides of Yasuo Gragas, is that you're two melee champions.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel you kind of have to run a melee champion with the Yasuo, just so because melee champions as support are usually your best chances for knockups. Top lane, though, a little bit of a skirmish.
Yeah, a little bit of a skirmish, and Bennett flashes away. I felt that was a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, maybe he thought Griffin was in the area, which he kind of is, but not in a spot to really come in and follow up on that. Could have been that, could have just been a little bit of a Game 1 nerf sort of deal, who knows? There's a lot of things that could have happened here.
Yeah, and now that is the teleport down for Bennett as well as his flash, so that's both summoner spells. That is not good for his situation in the rest of this lane.
Yeah, interestingly, Bennett, he got the Fairy Charm on the first pack with his double longsword instead of a Rejuve beat to go in towards that Tiamat. I guess just wanting the extra little bit of Nana sustain in this lane temporarily. Let him get those little dashes off more often. We will have to see.
Yeah, we will. And now looking at that, it will mean Shockpool is going to back, and he's going to have a lot more money in the bank to spend than it did Bennett.
Yep,
Advantage to the top side.
Yeah, full 1,200. Not to mention, he started a longsword with a refillable here. That lets him go back and get the team up, which is going to be really crucial for getting lane priority in top lane and constantly shoving Bennett under tower.
Also, it appears that alt chat is on the stream, unfortunately.
Yeah, I went before the game and selected turn off all chat. So.
Oh no, that was not turn off all chat. You do that in the selection menu for the stream. You do that with the little vision. It chat is just nope, not there.
Hmm.
It's in the button where you can turn on the scoreboard.
Oh.
It's in the middle.
Oh, in the middle part. Okay. Oh, there we go. Check. Oh wait, there it is. All right, I'm dummy. But oh well. Now with that out of the way, yeah. Because I thought it was the option for turn off all chat, which kind of makes sense because it works in normal games, but not spectators.
Nope.
Since...
Nope, in spectator you physically have to turn it off in that menu. So now we are back into this game. It does appear as if there is going to be a fight over the top side. Rift Scuttler. Now Griffin is in a little bit of trouble. Takes a whole lot of damage. Going to be hit up by the Let's Bounce. Here comes the Anivia up trigger. One more auto attack will do it, and that's going to be the Cell Division popped. And so is Griffin. First blood over to the side of Element 5. Shockpool coming in, but that's Bishan getting out just in time to die to Shockpool. Now Babaloo, he's in trouble. Goes down to Bennett. Shockpool 1v2. Little Kled, little man, little bit of dead there. That's a double kill for Bennett.
And a beautiful collapse there by Element 5 to just punish that Scuttle TK coming out from Griffin. Picking up 3 kills for 1, not to mention the first blood there. A huge advantage picked up for them in this early game.
Absolutely. 2 kills onto an Aurelia. That should definitely swap around a match that she normally loses.
Yeah. Getting gold in your Aurelia's pocket is always very handy in most situations. The only one I can think of is when your Aurelia already has 6 items.
Yeah, I mean, even so, 6 kills, I'd say a double kill would mean that you could get a Elixir of Iron even if you have 6 items.
Mm-hmm, it would. Unless you already have one active, in which case it's just like...
It's just a refresher.
Yeah. Or... Yeah, it's basically just a refresher at that point. Unless you have so... Oh, gank of the bot!
Off, just like, here we go. This is a bot off here. Cinerate does take a lot of damage. That's going to be the true shot barrage coming out from Guardian. The slow onto Shiftry will mean that he has to flash. That's 1 flash and an ignite burn from the bottom lane of Dawn Premier.
Yep, that's 2 summoners down in this bot lane for Dawn Premier. And while Yasuo, for Cinderay, does still have his flash, and there's always a body slam for Shiftry. Flash Body Slam is such a potent combination, and it's going to lower the aggression potential of this bot lane so much here for the side of Dawn Premier. And it's very crucial because they both just happen to hit level 6 here. So if you get a Flash Body Slam into a Last Breath, that is a lot of damage.
Yes, it is, but remember that the Yumi ult wasn't up yet. Now it should be available, I think, and so but look in the top lane. Shockpool and Bennett taking each other to the house there, trying to make sure that neither can breathe easy.
Yeah, and very tight game of inches in this top lane in terms of trading. We've seen just how brutal it's been so far all game.
Yeah, now in the bottom side, Cinerate trying to get out some damage, but not really finding anything onto the cat and the man. And the man with a map.
Yeah, a good thing though for Cinderaya here is that Ezreal, not really known for his wave killing prowess, so able to shove that Ezreal into tower very easily here. Of course, Guardian you CS under tower. Top lane.
Top lane as Bennett takes a lot of damage. Now that flash going to come in. Shockpool, will he survive?
Oh my God.
That was with the slightest margins of health. He survived with 16 HP, but here comes the zap.
That was anticlimactic. But Ocean Dragon picked up here for the side of Dawn Premier because Bishan did show top lane. Granted, it was for a split second while the dragon was already taken, but hey. An Ocean Dragon this early in the game never hurts.
No, it does not. But also, the fact of the matter that Shockpool, despite being down, I was like 2 kills to none in that matchup. Still outright won that 1v1 due to over-aggression from Bennett.
Yeah, not to mention, like you did mention earlier, this is a hard matchup for Irelia, so certainly does give Shockpool an advantage here. You have to remember that he had a kill himself, so it's only a kill's worth of lead for Bennett, which, don't get me wrong, noticeable, but it is surmountable.
Oh, absolutely surmountable. We've seen 1-kill leads just be thrown every single day, let alone every single stream. Now looking all over the map, it actually seems like the side of Dawn Premier have CS leads in every single lane.
Yeah, that's very good of them. We already pointed out the bot lane due to constant shoving under the tower. Means Guardian is going to miss some CS here, because Ezreal doesn't build a lot of AD early on, so that makes CSing a lot harder. Top lane, due to the over-aggression and that one death, has set Bennett back. And then mid lane, I guess it's because it was pre-6 Anivia, not to mention Morgana pull so effective. Top lane,
Here comes the gank from the Zac. That's going to be the Vanguard's edge pulled down. That's going to be the stretching strike to try and pull him back in. Does not quite. Auto attacks onto Shockpool, but Bennett has to back off due to the tower shots. Triggers under fire from Balbut and Griffin. Griffin gets stunned up by that snowball. Bishan picks up Babolat in that backside. Now Griffin going in, gonna get hit up by the elastic slingshot. That's going to be the stretching strikes into the Blizzard as Bishan picks up a double kill.
so off the back of what was technically a failed gank because Element 5 blew so much trying to get Shockpool, turns out to be a 2-for-0 in their favor as Babolat and Griffin try and run up to counter that, but they just weren't able to secure Trigger's death there, and they lose 2 of their members in the process, both kills going over to Bishan, so not the end of the world, but kills are kills, not to mention assist gold did go over to Trigger.
Yeah, plus, especially when you consider the fact that Bishan's going to get really tanky in the late game.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
And you have practically no AP to speak of. All you got's the Morgana, really.
Yeah, unless if Shiftry tries to go full AP. Flash in the bot lane expended.
Flash expended by Guardian, but still, that's also the Yuumi ult that that final chapter burned, but it was still an engage, absolutely stopped there.
And one thing you don't want to do is give this Yasuo kills, because Cinderay, he's going to be the man to really carry out Dawn Premier here, him and Shockpool, as champs like, but Cinderay will be the one that carries them through team fights, because Yasuo can shred through tanks like a monster after he casts the last breath, thanks to the bonus armor pen, and no matter how much armor Bishan builds, a lot of it will be shredded regardless.
Yeah, that's why you also stack health on Zac, because the fact he not only gets bigger, he also just, I would say the health just works against this team composition to an extent. So now looking at this bottom lane, it is getting a little bit more even. The gold is still in the favor of Guardian because of the Ezreal with Kleptomancy. In the top lane, we're seeing another fight. Bennett getting hopped on by Shockpool once again.
Yeah, and going back to your... Oh, gank in the bot lane.
Gank in the bottom lane, the lane gank, and damn, that's a dead cat.
Yeah, let's hope he's got 9 lives for himself, because if that keeps happening, oof, you hate to see it.
Well, I mean, usually it's the Yasuo that dies 9 times, but hey, this time it could be the Yuumi, you never know. That was a good kill to give over to Cinderay, and that's now putting him on line. Tower plates do fall. And overall, the early game still in favor of Element 5, who had that 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, so we'll have to see, because they do have the kill lead still. There is a small objective lead thanks to that Ocean Dragon picked up, not to mention the plates picked up in the bottom lane. Plates have expired now, so can't really see him anymore, but hey, have another Ocean Dragon spawning here in just about 30 seconds. Element 5, they're going to want to eye that up a little, because Anivia with Ocean is divine. Ezreal with Ocean, divine.
Well,
Yuumi?
the issue right now is that there's no vision for Element 5. I mean, look at that. They got a lot of wards in pockets, but they've got only 2 on the map. There's no vision for them, whereas I count 6 before that, I'd say before 1 expired, and 1 got knocked down by the bottom lane, so that's a massive vision advantage for the side of Dawn Premier.
Yeah, although where they don't have vision for Dawn, they don't have it over the Rift Herald, and that's currently being gobbled up by Element 5. Bishan and Trigger taking that one on down fairly quickly. This could just open up Griffin to soloing out that dragon right now, since they do hear the Craw of that Rift Herald dying. It does look like that's going to be the call, so double Ocean here coming out for Dom.
Yeah, double Ocean, and also double pink wards in the pit. Alrighty then.
Yeah. I mean, there are technically some niche situations where double pink wards in a pit are fine, because 10 autos versus 5 autos is a huge difference, but... Oh. Casket
Yeah,
can be...
Explosive cast did miss by a mile.
You know what won't miss, though?
Look at the dive coming around. The Vi is here, the Morgana is here. Everyone but the Kled is here for Dawn Premier. But it looks like they're all just going to back off instead of try it.
Yeah, I do think there was a world where they could have gone for that, but I guess they just backed off. There wasn't too much of a wave, and it was in a kind of awkward spot. You don't know where Bishan is, and I mean, Bishan is around here right now and could transform a 2v4 into 3v4 under tower, which can always hurt. Not to mention, diving in Ezreal with that Vi ultimate just means he instantly presses the Arcane Shift, so you're already under tower.
Not just that, you also have the final chapter that can come out from the Yuumi of Xylo, someone who we haven't mentioned much because, apart from that death, but still, that final chapter is one of the most powerful ultimates in the game in terms of AoE lockdown.
Yeah, not to mention the Zoomies heal does scale based on missing health, so if Guardian's really low, that heal could potentially double in effectiveness, which... I played a game earlier today, and Yuumi would always cast Kill Evolution when he's almost dead, and my jungler would just go, bruh, every time he's down at 10 health, he reaches 200. I'm like, yeah, that's Yuumi.
Yep, this is why I love champions with executes. So now, looking at it, look at the vision around that bottom side for Dawn Premier. They've got it basically locked down, but in the top side, Griffin showing. Looks like they're going to try a 3-man dive, maybe just a 2-man dive here in the top side. Looks like stun coming in. Bennett being hopped on. There is the charge, there is the dash, but he still goes down. Not really much he can do there. Does look like the Rift Herald has been spawned in the bottom lane, though, to try and counter this. A lot of damage on Babolat now. One more spell will do it, it looks like. And now the snowball coming in. Will it hit? Yes, it will! From downtown, Babolat goes down. So does first tower in favor of Element 5. And this means Dawn Premier are on the back foot trying to play catch-up. There is Shelly just a little bit more forward, and then she'll charge the tower. This is going to be half of that as well. That's a knock-up down onto Shifty. That means, yes, it does. That's a lockdown there. That is the Let's Bounce. Cineray going super low. So is Bishan and Shifty. One more auto attack will do it. That means that Shifty goes down. Cineray's next on the menu. Double kill for Guardian, but he loses his life in the process. That means that it's going to be 2 for 1 and 2 towers for 1 in favor of Element 5.
Yeah, and don't forget that tower in the kill in the mid lane too, so 3 for 1 across the map, and first tower, that's, oh, HP Sean.
HP Sean going in, and that means that he's actually going to be able to get out via the Blast Cone for at least a moment. Xylo gonna try and run while his jungler sacrifices himself for the sake of the team. This is gonna be a teleport coming in from Bennett, going in onto Babylon. No, it's a double teleport. Triggers here too. Bishan on a rampage takes down Babylon.
And that's the power of a, well, triple TP comp. Babylon, though.
Yes, it is. Oh, here comes Trigger. Not quite landing the stun, and the Irelia went the wrong direction, and the Anivia wall just blocks her in. Oh. Trigger with the mad betrayal. A2 Trig, eh?
Maybe this is why Element 5's is only 3rd for KDA. No shade, but very unfortunate circumstances there. Trigger killing his own top laner. And Bennett also blew his flash on that too, which is oof. But considering all of that, it was still a 2 for 1, I believe.
Still overall a net win for the side of Element 5. They got the kills, they got the objectives, and they've got the pressure around the map. They need to pack a 3,500 gold lead.
Yeah, certainly not a game-ending amount of gold, but it might become noticeable in some lanes. Like, for example, look at Guardian. He has 2.5 full items, whereas Cinderay only sitting on 1.5. Going for that Sterix second, it looks like. It will give him that extra tankiness, but missing out on the extra crit damage and hitting 100% crit with the IE is just so noticeable on Yasuo.
Yeah, don't forget about how much, how expensive the build is for Yasuo compared to that Ezreal. compared to a Static Shiv and a Sterix Gauge, Frozen Fist and a tier item there, not very expensive, as now everyone's hovering around the Infernal Drake. He's just waiting on the teleports to come in. Guardian and Shockpool both have them. Teleport is coming first from Shockpool. He's coming in actually behind the side of Element 5 as everybody jumps onto Bichon here. He activates Let's Bounce, but he is so tanky right now. He's going in. Guardian is in the front line. That's going to be an elastic shot onto the majority of Dawn Premier. Now they're getting shredded. The Blizzard is going ham. Santa Claus's Workshop got nothing on this Blizzard. It's now Shockpool, the lone man alive. Trigger going to take him down here soon. That's the snow, but it's not going to be enough to get away. As that's the slow, and here comes the wall as he falls. Bennett takes the kill. That's the ace for Element 5.
And a beautiful, delectable wombo combo coming out from Element 5 there. The 4-man knockup coming from Bichon into the beautiful Blizzard from Trigger. Well, the Blizzard was so good you'd think you're a Dairy Queen.
Ooh, I like that, my friend. You think it's 1993 in here, but no. Right now, it is 2019. It is a 5,500 gold lead for the side of Element 5, and that's 5's wild, guys.
Yeah, and not to mention, off the back of that, they also got the Infernal Dragon, so this 5,500 gold lead is being artificially boosted by that Infernal Dragon even higher. So we could be looking at a 6,500 to 7,000 gold lead here if you include those extra raw stats.
Yeah, it's just such an insane lead right now, as now it's pushed. It's still about that 5.5k mark. They still only have 3 towers and the Infernal Drake, but still, it is a massive lead right now for the well-scaling side of Element 5.
Yeah, because Ezreal scales very well. Yumi scales very well. Anivia scales very well. Irelia, she scales very well, but all you need on her is a Triforce, TBH. Compare that to the side of Dawn Premier. They're really relying on Cinderace for their late game damage, which can happen if he is a god at Yasuo, but the 0-9 Yasuo meme exists for a reason. Very hit or miss champion, and right now, currently on the fence, as the Baron's being started.
Yeah, the Baron is started because they know that Shockpool is in the bottom lane. They know that this is actually a 4v5 right here. The Baron is just being shredded by that Anivia Blader. As soon as now Cinderace walks up, that's going to be the True Shot Barrage. That's going to be the Elastic Slingshot, but he goes down first. Now the wall blocking in Babylon as he just has to pop that stopwatch. Not going to be enough. Goes down. That's a broken watch, as now it is just Shockpool, Griffin, and Shifty watching and waiting as their team can just sit by and watch the Baron fall.
Yeah, Griffin, he has to make the hero play here and get this steal off. But he's 2 levels down on this Vi, and he will instantly die.
That he will. Not just that, it's like Trigger can just block a thing. No, the wall is actually used as that's the Elastic Slingshot coming in. That's a lot of damage. Let's bounce onto Griffin. The damage from the Ezreal too much. That's going to be a kill for Guardian. The Baron goes over to Bichon, and Element 5 are in complete control.
Yeah, now an 8,000 gold lead there, and I learned a new interaction in that fight. If Vi uses her ultimate on a Yumi as she dashes to someone, it does not transfer to the target, as I thought.
No, it does not. It's another annoying thing about a Yumi.
It just fizzles out. I would kind of like that change, actually, where the Vi ultimate would just transfer to that target, but knowing how much spaghetti this game can be on, sometimes that might be a little tricky. Trigger, gonna walk right on past her beat calling.
Yeah, it does the same thing with things like Akali Shuriken and oh, what's the other one that's like super?
Lee Sin Q, the Resonating Strike.
Lee Sin Q is another one.
I feel like any dash that goes towards Yumi.
There's a very specific one that like enemy is like super impactful and like completely nullifies this person's kit, and I cannot remember who it is off the top of my head.
Which champ with targeted dash has their kit completely nullified if set dash doesn't work? God, I feel like I know this champion, and as soon as I hear it, I'll be like, yes, that's the one. But it's like,
it's like
tip of my
it's
tongue right
not
now.
just me thinking about this, but yeah, that is the case. It's not like Kled where it will prioritize the closest champion.
God, yeah. No, like, I know this, but I don't, and I feel dummy.
Well, we'll have to look it up after the game, as now it is the side of Element 5 just pushing into the base. Bennett gets slowed up, obviously dodges out the Dark Binding from Babylon, and this means that it's going to be more pressure into the base. There's no real way to go into now. It looks like the engage does happen there from Bishan. Let's bounce and everything onto Sidere, who is already cut to ribbons. Guardian gets on a killing spree. That's going to be the Vile ultimate pops onto him, taking him down, but the rest of Dawn is just falling one by one. Dominoes falling all over the map. Yes, that was a pun, ladies and gentlemen, and that was a quadra kill for Bennett.
A whole 4 kills picked up by Bennett here on the Cyrelli. Needless to say, he's come online. That's the inhibitor tower. This is going to be the mid lane inhibitor. This shouldn't be the game. Death timers are too low.
They have a bad Anivia and an Aurelia. That tower, that's one that's almost down. Can they do it? Because I don't even think that Sidere could stop them here. We'll have to see, as that's going to be 2 towers down. Looks like that this is going to be game 1 going into the books. I forgot about the Anivia wall. That is just a quick game 1 for the side of Element 5.
A quick game indeed. Only a little over 26 minutes. And as soon as they won that fight by the Baron, it was all over for the side of Dawn Premier.
Absolutely. So right now we will go actually into a short break. We will be right back with the draft in game 2 here very shortly. Well, guys, we are back here for Upsurge Leagues, and we are already knee-deep into draft as we see that the Yumi, Anivia, and Zac, all 3 picks by Element 5 from last game, have been banned away. The Silas first pick by Dawn, the Braum and Akali for Element 5, Renekton, Aatrox, and Rengar bans. I am Hypertension, joined here by Goferino. How are you doing?
Pretty alright. Off the back of that game 1 where Element 5 won within 27 minutes. Rather impressive. Element 5 sticking to their guns here with the same bans as last game. And like you already mentioned, Dawn just banning out the OPs from last game. But we are flying through picks.
Yes, we are, as that Karma and the Kled have been locked in. The Karma, I believe, was banned out by the side of Element 5 in the last game. So now we are seeing very much a very similar composition, but that Kled pick is now blind instead of into that Aurelia, which you countered.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Granted, last game, Dawn did pilot the Kled decently well. Because honestly, they lost last game off the back of that one Baron fight, and then once they got Baron for the side of Element 5, there's nothing Dawn could really do with their composition to counter that, because it's a bit of an oofer moment, but we're already in the second round of bans here.
Yeah, and we talked about that Aurelia picked into it after getting after it did fairly poorly into it last time.
Yeah, because we saw Bennett pop off later in the game, but he did also get a very early double kill in the river in that 3-for-1 exchange for that first blood, so we'll have to see if he's able to do a repeat performance. That would be good for him if he's able to do that, but this is a tough matchup.
Yeah, it really is. And now we are on to that last ban of that second phase as Pyke, Morgana, and Evelynn have been banned away. Evelynn and Talia going to be the bans here for the side of Dawn, targeting that jungle pool.
Yeah, really pinching out Bishan here on the side of Element 5. Speaking from experience, I know he plays all 3 of those champs quite a bit. He even has a Smurf where at one point he played exclusively Talia jungle and climbed to Diamond with it. But all those picks out of the way, we'll have to see how he adapts with his pull being pinched this hard, as it's going to be the Jarvan the 4th. Very flexible jungler and an interesting pickup here.
Yeah, with the Jarvan pickup, that is going to be a solid jungler who can just roam around the map, be that starting up engage, and can partially negate the Kled ultimate.
Yeah, thanks to the Cataclysm, you trap him in there with you and you just kind of absorb it. Very nice, especially if you go for the tankier Jarvan build, but Jarvan is a Swiss Army knife when it comes to builds. You can go full AD, you can go bruiser, you can go tank, you can go more supporty. It's a choose-your-own adventure when it comes to builds, although most likely going to be going for a tanky route this game, considering there's already an Irelia and a Akali locked in, as the Alistar is picked up here by Dawn.
Yeah, that Alistar does mean that it will likely be Silas jungle, Karma mid, Kled top, and Alistar support, so this will just be the AD carry locked in, and there is a notable...
That's an RA.
Does Dawn not know how to play marksman?
It could be a pro draft error. I haven't heard any confirmations from the teams yet of Ari is Kled, Ari is Ezreal, Ari is Kai'Sa. So it could very well just be an Ari bot lane here. Yeah. Very interesting. It is a team composition in League of Legends.
Yeah, and apparently there were no pro draft mistakes. So yeah, that's probably going to be a Karma bottom then. So it's going to be the reckless strategy of Karma bottom, though if I'm not mistaken, that's usually not with an Alistar.
Yeah, especially into Ezreal Braum, because that's also a fairly safe lane, and they can also respond to your poke. Granted, the Karma can outpush the Ezreal, as previously mentioned last game. Ezreal not known for his wave carrying prowess, whereas Karma, you can spam the Q, you can spam the mantra Q. That really deletes waves.
Yes, it does. As now, as we are getting into the client draft here in just a moment, we will see exactly where everything is going. But as I said, my guess is it is Kled, Silas, Ari, Karma, Alistar for the side of Dawn. And for for element 5, it should be fairly standard.
Yeah, fairly standard indeed. There could technically be a swap between the Akali and Irelia, but most likely going to be Irelia top with that Akali mid. Who knows? We will have to see, because Dawn, they certainly picked a hard team composition, I guess. I'll give them that. They're consistent with that, but there is always the point of, when do you flex too hard in draft? Because flexing, that's always good. Throwing a wrench in your opponent's mindset, that's always good. But when is that wrench too heavy, and when does it come back and bonk you?
Yeah, at what point does it just become an oversized joke of a wrench? So here we are seeing that it is, again, Kled top lane as expected. We'll see here in just a moment what that pick is. And again, given the trends lately, I would be stunned if this is not a Sylas.
Yeah, it should be that Sylas jungle. We will see here in a second, because the other option would be, I guess, Alistar jungle if we want to do a Season 2 throwback, because technically in Season 2 you could pick Alistar jungle, but that was back when junglers just didn't have any income and were walking gank bots and Oracle Elixir bots. But it does look like it is going to be that Sylas with the Ahri in the mid lane, so like you predicted, the Karma Alistar bot.
Karma Alistar in the bottom lane as expected there. So kind of, again, what we just kind of expected to see. So with that in mind, how does Dawn play this game?
I'll be honest with you, Chief. I'm not entirely sure, because this is a very out there draft coming from Dawn. Obviously, they do want to win more so early and go for those skirmishes, because they don't have the consistent DPS of a marksman. Whereas last game, Yasuo, he does have the consistent DPS of a marksman. He's just melee. This game, with Karma, she falls off. So your main damage is going to be Babaloa, Griffin, and Shockpool, which might be a little hard to swing unless you get a very early lead. That is certainly one potential case. But we'll have to see how it works out, because if we recall the last game, Element 5 were just kind of in the lead the entire game.
All right. Well, that does mean right now all the teams have locked in their picks. The compositions aren't out of here. I would say Element 5 packing something very similar to what they did before. Dawn also trying, a unique and a little bit of an odd comp. But before we go into spectator delay, let me read you a message from our sponsors at Kono. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, it all starts with your peripherals. From keyboards to keycaps, mice, and more, our friends at Kono have got you covered. Kono works with the world's best designers, inventors, and makers to bring you some of the best gaming peripherals around. Kono have been huge supporters of us here at Upsurge and have made generous contributions to our prize pools. If you need to find a new keyboard and more for your setup, we can't recommend anybody better than Kono. For more information, head over to kono.store and check out all that they have to offer. That's KONO.store. Kono, discover amazing products.
Yep, and with that being said, it does look like we're going to hop into a short break here, if I'm not mistaken, so don't go anywhere as we get into this game number 2 of the Upsurge Minor League Quarterfinals.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here for Game 2 between Element 5 and Dawn Premier. No elephants in the house today. And it does look like that both teams aren't just heading out for this standard 5-point start. No sort of cheekiness coming out from either team.
Yeah, and it is kind of interesting to see because Element 5, they do have the Braum here, so that is a lot of level 1 potential here. But the rest of their level 1's definitely a little shaky. On the side of Dawn Premier, they can do the flash headbutt from Shift Tree here. Shifty. But neither side opting for that, as you mentioned previously, just going for the big safety.
Yeah, they are, as right now it does appear everybody is just lining up in a standard line of scrimmage. Nothing sort of flashy, as we're just sort of expecting. I guess we should expect a quiet early game, shouldn't we?
Yeah, the most excitement we will see will probably be any ganks Bichon goes for on this Jarvan. This Jarvan, very great early game prowess. Bot lane, we could see some shenanigans from Shifty, thanks to the fact that Alistar level 2 is very strong. We'll have to see.
Yeah, with that Alistar level 2, it will be interesting, particularly with Karma able to lock down and shield him if he does go. I'll say lock down the enemy and shield him if they do go in. So right now, I guess the most volatile early lane, we should expect more out of this top lane, shouldn't we?
Yeah, because we saw last game just how heavy on the trading was early, and there was a lot of potential swings there. We saw kills going back and forth, and we'll have to see if there's a repeat performance this game. Definitely a lane to highlight. Ace Bichon already towards the top lane, taking that Golem camp. Could go for a gank here. There is no word from Shockpool. And we even see the Pink's top lane, so it looks like we're going to get it.
Well, we are. It does look like they are going to go in here in just a moment. Bichon coming in. That's going to be a knock-up. That's the flash, actually. A little bit unnecessary there, but the stun also misses. Shockpool going to be picked up for first blood.
Yeah, and we were talking about how volatile this top lane is going to be, how action-packed it can be. We're already seeing it just 2.5 minutes into this game. First blood picked up here by Bennett. Going to be very beneficial to this Irelia for snowballing, because we saw just how much he could do last game once he got going on that Irelia.
Absolutely did. With that help, he was able to get snowballing and get rolling hard, and they just rolled over Dawn all the way to the tune of a quadra kill. His bottom lane, though, does not have that same pressure as it did last game. I mean, yeah, it's got a little bit more wave clear, but still, Yasuo Gragas is a lot harder to go into than Karma Braum.
Yeah. Since Karma can't really apply as much pressure, she has very strong poke early on. Don't get me wrong, but she does fall up very hard, and Guardian is going to outscale Cinderberry so hard on this Ezreal once we get past 2 items.
Yeah, and that, I say you are completely right there, mostly because of the fact 80 carry versus bottom lane mage. I mean, yeah, Karma will do like a very stunning nuke of damage, as anyone who's ever played against her on aim ram will know. But it's still not going to out DPS in Ezreal.
Yeah, because Karma Hadoken, it does a lot of damage. Then after that, you're like, wait, she just used her ultimate Q. That's going to be down for a while. Let me just pump out a bunch of DPS real quick. And even with the Ezreal new build, where you build a lot of AP, he still has a decent amount of DPS.
He absolutely does. I mean, he's still Ezreal, and that W, I say if you're talking about like strength of reworks that never made, that isn't like truly broken, that W has to be up there. But now look at boy Bennett. Bennett in the top lane up against Shockpool does take the worst half of that trade. Now the auto attack's coming in. Will Bennett be able to get it? One more dash should be able to do it. Shockpool goes down to Bennett in the solo kill.
That was a game of centimeters there. It was so close, but Bennett able to come out on top thanks to the kill he had already gotten from that gank. Triple longswords? That hurts a lot. The TP of Shane coming out from Shockpool here after that solo death always hurts, but it'll allow him to put some pressure in his top lane because Bennett low in health himself.
Yeah, right now with Bennett ahead in both gold kills. I mean, there's really nothing that Shockpool has going for him right now, except for the fact that he is a Kled and he does have, you know, that massive ultimate. Otherwise, Bennett has everything else.
Yeah, because if Shockpool isn't able to contest Bennett in this 1v1 for the split push, that really hurts Kled's potential as a champion so much. Because a lot of the reason why he's so good is that he can outduel you, and he forces you to cower under tower. And then while you do that, he just casually walks halfway down the river, presses the ultimate, and charges on in. And then he's able to get kills across the map. But look at both the junglers here, hovering in this top lane. We might see a little bit of 2v2 action.
Yeah, and the 2v2 you'd have to imagine would favor the level 6 Aurelia, who's got the Vanguard's edge. That's going to be a lot of damage on the Shockpool already going in. Bennett dashes away from Griffin, who's actually still losing this fight. That little bit of damage was not enough. Now the Ignite down onto Bishan, who does bite the dust. Guardian now on the chase of Babolat, but that's just going to be a 2-for-1 in the top lane. A third kill going over to Bennett.
Yeah, and 2-for-1. Not to mention, there's a 3-0 Irelia now with an assist to boot. Take a quick look at the gold. 1,500 in the bank, ready to go. You can go back, get a Tiamat for yourself, then Bennett will be so set in this lane. Will allow him to push out, give him that extra little bit of burst. Not to mention the health regen, while not massive, it does come in handy.
That it does. Right now, I just think this Aurelia is so scary now. One of my favorite champions in the game just because of how exciting she is to watch. And when she gets snowballing, it's very hard to stop her. They're going to need every single bit of that CC that they are packing to be able to shut her down.
Yeah, and even then it might be really hard since a lot of the damage coming out from Don Premier here is burst orientated. You look at the bot lane, you look at the mid lane. Griffin, he is definitely a lot of burst too. Has some DPS thanks to the Conqueror, but it's really only Shockpool that can melt down the Irelia. And it might be really hard for Don Premier to even take down the Irelia here for Bennett. Even if they do land all that CC.
Yeah, right now, does look like that Bennett is going to take it to Shockpool once again. That's going to be the stun. He's diving so far under tower. The damage reduction was there, and this means that Bennett picks up another solo kill on Shockpool.
Yeah, and top lane now is over. Shockpool, he's 0-4 as we're at a little past 7 3/4. That is just not what you want to see in a winning lane matchup. Even like that early gang from Ace Bishan set this top lane so far behind as the ultimate's stealing by Griffin here.
Yeah, Griffin does now have the Vanguard's edge, but the auto attack still coming in. It does look like the shutdown will come through for Griffin, so that's a lot of gold into his pocket.
Yeah, that's 700 gold in his pocket, but crucially, Blackpool didn't get it or even an assist. So he is still just as far behind as he was before. A little less technically since he is picking up some CS for free, able to get some experience and gold in his pockets, but still, that solo kill going over to Griffin means he has to make this kill worth it. He has to get that advantage to sprint to other lanes or just get himself ahead so much he takes over the game. And we'll have to see how that works out for him in the up and coming 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure how much gold was in that shutdown. Just looking at what the Silas has in pocket, he does appear to have 1,700, so I'm not exactly sure how much of that is the shutdown, but it does appear to be another fight into the top lane. Shockpool gonna be cut to ribbons once again. Not able to get on top of Bennett is the side of Don Premier. Griffin getting shredded. Shockpool getting cut to pieces. This is gonna be a 2v1 for Bennett. Now in the middle lane, here comes Trigger. He managed to blast Babolat, and this is a 8-kill-to-2 lead before 10 minutes for Dawn. They are 3,500 gold in the lead.
Yeah, Element 5 just getting ahead by so much in this early game. That gank in the top lane failed so horribly because the Abduct didn't stun up Troy Bennett, and he is able to turn it around. And then off the back of that, those 2 kills, there was another kill picked up in the mid lane, and that Cloud Dragon. All of these plates in the mid lane. So every lane globally is losing here for the side of Dawn, except for maybe that bot lane, which is relatively even, but a Karma that's going even with an Ezreal, that's a yikers from me.
Yeah, but still, the Karma going even with the Ezreal, it's not... It's still not great for the side of Dawn, because bottom lane is the only lane that isn't getting, you know, blasted right now.
Yeah, and interestingly, Guardian has the double spellbook here. So it looks like he's going for the Seraphs first instead of the Muramana, which is very interesting because you always see Ezreal pick up the Manamune due to the on-hit synergy, the extra AD, the mana. But the Seraphs does mean there is a lot of burst potential, and that extra shield can be so clutch against the burst here from Don Premier.
I think the situation is that he knows Bennett is fed, and he's got enough damage to deal on the AD front. Right now, Trigger is doing okay, but Trigger would be the only source of AP. So to balance out the damage between the two, Guardian builds AP, so that way he can just roll from there.
Yeah, and plus also it makes
Bennett,
sense.
oh, shock pool.
You hate to see it. Could we just see a dive here? Griffin is on the edge here, but we've seen how this has gone.
Press F to pay respects for Shockpool. He has to go the complete opposite way with the flash right now. I still don't think that they could actually get Bennett. That's one kill already. Griffin so low. Can he get out? No, he can't. Another 2v1 by Bennett, this time under tower.
So there are 12 kills in the game. 8 of them currently belong to Bennett. And he has participated in another 2 of them if you want to include deaths. So 10 out of 12 kills this game have happened top lane. Good
Yeah,
lord.
It's not looking good for Shockpool.
Definitely no bueno.
I mean, I get where his name came from, but right now, he's looking a lot more like a Deadpool.
Yeah. I mean, he's certainly respawning a lot like Deadpool. That's certainly a handy feature to have.
Okay, that was pretty good. I gotta admit, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I get that a lot. But oh well, going back to that, that's a first... Oh, gank in the mid lane.
Gank in the mid lane. Babylon does land a lot of damage and the lockdown on to Bishan, who dies, but gifts the kill over to Trigger. Trigger picking up yet another kill in this series.
Yeah. Thankfully for Babolat, he's able to get the 1-for-1 in that 1v2, so while... Oh, mid lane?
Mid lane, Trigger, can he get out of this? Right now it doesn't appear so, but actually the lock-on came through at the perfect time for Shockpool. There's no help anywhere in range for the side of Element 5, and they lose their mid laner as a result. So it makes it a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it might be a little less than that with Bennett here.
So yeah, but here comes Bennett, the great equalizer.
Yeah, but the flawless duet does miss, so in the end, a 2-for-1? Or... Yeah, 2-for-1 in the favor of Don Premier there, off the back of that one gank mid. So props to them. It is helping bring them back a little in this game. They are still down 5k gold. And thing is though, almost all that gold lead is centered in the top lane.
Yeah, and it's about to get bigger because here goes Shockpool once again, getting shocked and awe. That was another kill over to him. 9 kills before 14 minutes on this Aurelia.
Yeah, like, if you just take a quick peek at the gold difference, it's at 4,500 between these two top laners. Keep in mind, it's a 6k gold lead. Speaking of gold lead.
Here we go into the bottom lane. That is a gank. It's going to knock out both members of Element 5. So they are actually on the losing end of this. They lose Bishan, and Xylo has to run. Griffin hiding in wait, trying to get there. Now the shield should be able to save Xylo. He did burn the flash somewhere in there, so overall, that's a win for the side of Dawn.
Yeah, and that's what they need in this, because like we mentioned, Champs, like, their team comp has to win this early game, and it certainly hasn't been going that way, but picking up all these bonus little kills in the mid and bot lane and getting this Infernal will certainly help a lot. Top lane, it's a lost cause. Bennett and Shockpool, every time Shockpool shows his face, Bennett can kill him. You can't save them, even if you send an entire team. It's that.
Right now, I think Xylo and Guardian being here, that's sticking around a little bit too long. You risked it all and you lost it all, but here comes Bennett. The question is, can they 3v5? Can they 4v5 with this? Here he comes, but he misses the flawless duet. That's one of his key things. Now, the charm does land. This is huge if they can get the kill onto Bennett. This is such a massive gold shutdown, but if that is going to be the double knockout, Bennett actually does get one kill before going down. That's going to be a 2-for-1 thus far. Bishan now getting locked in, locked down, cut down. That will be a 2-for-2 for the, I'd say just even across the board, but the Drake went to Dawn Premier.
Yeah, and Dawn Premier, they're clawing their way back in this game little by little. Sure, the gold lead is still nearly 5k, but you have to remember, so much of... Oh, gank.
gank indeed, but that's also going to be basically a lot there. That was a charge. That was a flash from Babylot. That was, I believe, the Spear Rush was already down. That was a lot burned for nothing.
Yeah, it's like those grabber games you see at arcades. You just throw in an entire stack of quarters and get like a plushie toy out of that. But not even that. They did not even get a flash out of that. So definitely a little bit of a yikers from Dawn. Maybe they're just feeling a little
Swing and miss.
Yeah, it could just be the high off those last few plays they got, because they just had a series of huge plays, and it's like, well, we're already winning. Might as well try and push the luck a little more.
Yeah, if there is one thing that Element 5 are not winning, it is actually the vision game. Look at the war difference between Element 5 and Dawn Premier. The vision score is heavily in favor of Dawn, mostly because of Shifty actually warding right now, more than double that of his opposing support.
Yeah, but you know where there is an award? In the Pit of Rift Herald, because it looks like Bichon is soloing that one out for his team. Just like last game, because a little bit of deja vu. Last game you mentioned there was quite a big vision differential. Oh, speaking of vision.
Yeah, vision, here we go, as Guardian trying to make sure that he can get out, does burn that Arcane Shift, and now they're going to go back in on top of, I believe that is actually a double TP. Bennett and Trigger are here, that's going to be the Vanguard's Edge. They're going on to Cideray. Cideray goes down, the follow-up damage onto Shifty is huge. Bennett with a double kill, 12 in this game for him. The flash burned out of Bichon is very much a worth consolation prize for 2 kills and a bottom lane tower.
And don't forget that mid lane tower too, because Bichon, after Babylot left that mid lane, he popped. Oh, Bichon.
Bichon, you are a dead man indeed. Griffin just gets him for free.
Yeah. Picking up the now 1-5 Jarvan, so maybe not the most amount of gold, but you'll take it.
Yeah, no, Xylo. That's going to be the Vanguard's Edge actually down onto the side of Elements 5, but Bennett is there, and Bennett doesn't care because he's going to kill off both of them as well. Now the Kled in the backline trying to get down Guardian, does get it, but Bennett's like, oh, hey, you're here, free for me. No, Trigger's going to steal it because he's in a Kali.
Yep, easy to get on out of that one. Oh.
And he goes back in.
He got out, so... I don't know, maybe toying with his food a little there, maybe a little bit of a mispress. Who knows? In the end, does not hurt Trigger here. Just spook out his opponents, I guess. When all is said and done, that is another huge win here for the side of Element 5. Because if you look at the gold differential, we're at nearly 8,000 gold.
Yes, we are almost 8,000 gold before 18 minutes, 4 towers to 0. But then again, of that gold lead, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. And answer that question, how much is in top lane? The answer, 6,000 of it.
Like, if you just take a look at the inventories here, Shockpool just finished his first item. Bennett has finished 3 items and is working on his 4th. That is a top lane differential if I have ever seen one. That is partially part of the nature of top lane. When you fall behind in top lane, you just kind of fall behind further because there's not as many rubber bandings up there. But dear God, at this point, I don't think there's any sort of rubber band that can get you back into this game if you're Shockpool. Unless he somehow managed to kill Bennett like 3 times in a row.
Speaking of Bennett, he's up here, and I don't think they can 2v1 this even, because I believe Bennett does not have flash, but Cideray's already almost dead, and the charge, the charm, all of it actually misses there, so Bennett's just wailing away, free firing. They finally take him down, but as a result, they're going to lose a mid lane tier 2 for it.
Yeah.
Look at Guardian and Xylo, they're just wailing away.
Yeah, that was a 900 gold bounty, so huge immediate gain. Oh.
Here we go, that's going to be the stand behind me, going to get Xylo a little bit out of dodge for now. That's going to be the Glacial Fissure to stop it there. The flash out from Xylo to block it. The bear trap on a rope, there's the charm, but there's the wombo from the Jarvan! Cataclysmic ultimate by the side of Element 5. Guardian does go down on the backside. It's just Trigger and Bichon now trying to get it done. 1v4 for Trigger, I don't think even he can get out of this, and that is effectively going to be ace for Dawn. They're moving over to the Baron, which spawns in about 11 seconds, but Bennett is up now, so...
Yeah, we'll have to see, because we saw in that last fight how long it took those 4 members to kill Bennett alone. And with Baron hammering away at them, debuffing their MR, it could potentially be worse. It doesn't look like they'll go for it. The one-man Bennett army too scary for them, but still, that is huge for Dawn here. Keep in mind, it was 8-2 earlier in this game. It is now 15-20, and they've narrowed the gold lead by about 1,500.
Yeah, they've narrowed it, but it's still about 5.5K in the lead. They weren't able to get the Baron off of it. And right now, you have to know that Element 5, after that cataclysmic of a fight, out of that disastrous of a fight, that they have to be put on a little bit of check. They're like, okay, let's step back, let's make sure we don't screw up, and then let's win this game.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't fight 4v5s without our uber-fed top laner. That is always a checkbox you should check. Because keep in mind, Element 5, they do have the scaling advantage here. We've been talking about that. And they still have the gold lead. So, they should be in firm control of this game. But if they have more slip-ups like that, where Bennett just... Oh, speaking slip-ups.
Speaking of slip-ups, the Charm does miss for Guardian, as does that Orb of Deception, but the damage is there from Cineray. So Guardian just dies for the third time this game for almost nothing. Now Cineray is here, but here comes Bennett. That's the flawless duet. It misses everyone, I think. Griffin now just getting wailed away by that Aurelia. He's gonna die. Now here comes Bennett trying to 1v5 essentially. Cineray coming in, but Bennett gets stunned. The shield is there. Babolat takes him down, and this means that Element 5 are now collapsing like a house of cards.
Yeah. Jesus, Element 5, what are you doing? Off the back of your 80 carry getting picked, you go for that fight and lose it super hard. Ugh. At this point, Bennett, now with 4 deaths, has given up a lot of shutdown gold over to the side of Dawn Premier. And look at Shockpool. He is now 4-8 on this clit and has a 150 gold bounty. Keep in mind, he was 0-5 at some point.
Yeah, and not just that, I think that Element 5 are getting a little bit too arrogant here. Like, Guardian was so far up into the face of it. Ari, it's like, yes, she's not like super fed, but damn, pay some respect.
Yeah, because keep in mind, there was both Babolat there and Sindovray. You're a 1-3 Ezreal. You do not win that. You do not win that 1v2. You do not win that 1v1. But Guardian was still there and fancying his chance. Because you gotta play careful and you gotta play around Bennett.
He's actually a level down now, is Guardian here. Xylo too, and as is Vishawn. They have to realize that without a full-on 5v5 where Bennett can free fire, they're not gonna win these fights actually.
Yeah.
They put all of their eggs into the Aurelia basket, and guess what? If that basket is broken, what are you gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah, because 15 out of 21 kills are on the side rail. That means 6 other kills are distributed amongst the other members, 4 of which are on trigger. Oh, here comes the charge.
Here it comes, but that's Xylo and Guardian getting hopped on once again. That Braum stand behind him indeed, because he gets absolutely blown up once again. Cineray gets the kill. Now Bishan trying to run for his life away from Babolat, still dies.
Good lord. Element 5 is just blowing up like Twitter drama over here, falling one by one. And what are they gonna do about it? There's now a Baron being started here by Dawn Premier. Can they get it?
They get it. We'll have to see, but they have to watch for Bennett's Aurelia. But the thing is also, Shifty has to be careful. He's the only tank here, and he's also the only initial lockdown, as Bennett just walks in and gets nuked off the bat. He's going to go down very early. Babolat's unstoppable. Trigger's getting targeted here, and this means that Guardian's having to run from the Silas. He's not going to win that fight.
Oh.
Like,
they stopped the Baron, but at what cost here for Element 5? This isn't something I thought I'd be saying 10 minutes ago, but look at where we are now. Oh, God, Guardian.
Are you shitting me? Did that just happen?
Yeah, it did. But Element 5, they gotta pick up their head here, because now the gold lead's down to only 3.4k, and when you're at the 24-minute, it's mildly noticeable. But, ugh. Like, this was Element 5's game to lose. They still have the scaling advantage, as we previously mentioned, but we've also previously mentioned if they decide to keep slipping up like this, it doesn't matter how much of an advantage you have. You can still throw the game if you throw.
The last time I saw throws this hard, I was watching Dignitas.
Oh lord, that takes me back.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of the Scar quote. Up until they lose, they're winning. Not as applicable to this, but yeah, the throwback.
Well, I mean, it's still applicable because up until they lose, they are currently still winning.
Yeah. I mean, you have to remember the context of that quote, because I believe it was for Coast. That was the team's name. They would be winning.
Oh.
They lose one team fight and lose the game off it. Oh, mid lane Guardian. Are you in danger? Here comes
And
the TP
here
by
comes
the
the
pit.
teleport from Bennett into the face of 4. Vanguard's edge goes down. Bennett just walks straight in again. But now this could be the fight that they need because they actually have Bennett free firing. Babylon is getting chunked in the backline. Babylon goes down to Bennett, who's now free firing away. This is the fight that Element 5 needed. Shifty is probably going to go down soon, but Griffin will also be the one targeted by Bennett as Guardian picks up that cow. Now the Silas is dead, so is the Karma. That's an ace for Element 5, but going for the Baron here, I don't think you survive it.
We'll have to see. Keep in mind there is a lot of life still on this Irelia thanks to the Q. Not to mention Akali has a Gunblade here. But good lord, Element 5, they finally played their team comp to their strengths. They finally realized, hey, maybe Bennett isn't the first man in. Maybe instead we send Bishan and Xylo in, let them absorb some cooldowns, and then Bennett can come in and do his magic. Look at how it pays off. They get the full ace and the Baron on top of it. Now they're back in control of this game.
Yeah, it only took another, like, what, 3, 4, 5 fights for them to do it properly after laning phase?
It only took a casual 5k gold swing.
Also, it took the flash and teleport to beat Bennett.
Yeah. But hey, now with this Baron buff, they can run it down. And this is where Bennett's lead will excel. You put him in that side lane with the Baron buff, Shockpool, even though he has caught up a decent amount, still look at the item differential. There is still a 2-item differential between these two top laners. So,
yeah, and also, apparently we're getting a complaint that the cursor is on the screen, so it is blocking the vision of people.
oh, sorry about that. I thought cursor was disabled in this.
There we go. It does appear that it is off, but now it looks like the Colette is on as Shockpool dives in deep. Bennett is in the front line. Xylo's already dead, but now Bennett's in the back line, wailing away on Cideray. Shockpool's dead. Cideray dies too. This is looking like an absolute wipe.
Could it be the penta? Could it be the penta?
Could it be the pentakill for Bennett? They're gonna go for it. They're gonna say screw everything else, but Guardian, scumbag Guardian, taking the pentakill from Bennett.
Well, I guess that's his way of saying, hey, remember that massive lead we had and how you kind of threw it away? This is payback, even though it was partially Guardian's fault too. But hey, payback involves destroying the Nexus, it looks like, here for the side of Element 5. Already down 2 Nexus towers. And Nexus...
And this will be the series, ladies and gentlemen. Element 5 move on to the semifinals, sweeping Dawn Premier.
Yeah, Game 1 certainly a lot cleaner than Game 2, but they still made the finish line. That's what matters in the end.
Yes, they did. And right now, after that series, you have to think who is the MVP of the series.
Oh, I want to say Bennett, but...
See, if it was off of Game 1, I would have said Bishan. If it was off of Game 2, I would have said Bennett.
I would have said Bennett based on Game 2 and Game 1 as well. But then there's that part of Game 5 where Bennett was like, nah. Trigger, though, was definitely solid throughout the series, so I guess he is the MVP in terms of consistency here for the side of Element 5.
You said Trigger?
Yep.
Okay, I'll go with Trigger. Trigger MVP works for me. So right now, that will Trigger, you are MVP. Congratulations on the MVP in that series, despite not being the main contributor of the game, but you were good enough in both of them to do it. So with that, guys, before we head out, guys, remember about the Upsurge Esports Open qualifiers for the Scouting Ground circuits, giving everybody, experience or not, the chance to compete for a prize pool of $3 grand. Count it, $3,000, as well as the opportunity to qualify for the Scouting Ground Circuit qualifiers to be one of the top 16 teams to have their shot to go to Scouting Grounds. This is a 2-day tournament. It will start on August 3rd, conclude on August 4th, but registration is still open. Sign up. There's no entry fee. So if you even like luck your way into like 3rd place, that's still money. Seriously, do it. Anyone can enter. So
Yeah,
get ready for the Upsurge Open qualifier.
Yeah, a chance to go pro and earn money while at it. That's a win-win.
Yes, it is. And guys, with that, that will be it here for us at Upsurge. Thank you for joining us here today. Thank you to my co-caster, Go Farina, for streaming and joining me on the cast tonight. Guys, join us tomorrow for some UCL playoff action. My name has been Hypertension. Goodbye and good night.